They say good food feeds the soul, but what if something else is the price? It started as a whisper, a name passed between coworkers like a secret. The gourmet table, no ads, no influencers. Just one quiet restaurant tucked between forgotten buildings. And somehow, everyone knew about it. Within weeks, it was all anyone could talk about. A viral sensation among townsfolk who craving for something new. It was become a must-to-go places for the townsfolk. The praises in the lunchroom chatter, office group chats, even local news segments. No signage, no delivery, no takeaway. Just a single dusty window out front, and a line wrapped around the block every night. Trust me, one coworker said, eyes shining. The food is life-changing. They were right, to write. The first time I stepped inside, the atmosphere wrapped around me like fog, heavy, quiet, strange. Low ember lights spilled shadows across dark wood. No music, no chatter. Just the soft clink of utensils and murmurs that never rose above a whisper. It didn't feel new. It felt old, like a place that had always been there, tucked between time and forgetfulness. I was only there because of Kevin, a coworker who, against all odds, had scored a reservation. Don't ask how I got it, he smirked. Just enjoy the food. And I did. God, I did. Every dish felt personal. Unfamiliar ingredients arranged in combinations that made no logical sense, and yet, every bite sang. Spiced lamb that dissolved on my tongue. Bitter greens chased with a sweetness that tugged at something deep inside me. A soup that didn't taste like anything I'd eaten before. It tasted like memory. Each course didn't satisfy my hunger, it deepened it. By the time we left, my stomach was full. But my thoughts, still starving, I wanted more. No, I needed more. I told myself I'd stop after the second course. Then the third, but I couldn't. None of us could. Kevin ordered more. So did I. Plates kept arriving, steaming, gleaming, perfect, and we kept eating, chasing the high of each bite like it would vanish if we paused too long. By the time dessert arrived, something cold, floral, and strangely bright, we were dazed. Full to the brim, and yet, no leftovers. Not a smear of sauce. Every plate returned to the kitchen clean. As we stepped out into the cold night, I realized my stomach was full, but my mind was still reaching for something. A flavor, a feeling, a need. I wanted to go back. I had to. No matter what, I will make sure we got another reservation. The second time I dined there, between bites of roasted duck that practically dissolved on my tongue, I leaned toward Kevin. Hey. Weird question. Do they do takeaway here? He gave me a look, half confused, half amused. Nope, he said. Dine in only, always has been. Why? Kevin shrugged. No clue. Policy or branding or something. That didn't sit right with me. The place had a full kitchen, endless variety, plenty of staff. Why only dine in? Later that night, I asked one of the waiters, a young woman with a polite smile and tired eyes. She paused, as if surprised by the question. I'm not sure, sir. That's just how the owner wants it. The owner, she nodded. Yeah, he doesn't come in much. Only the manager talks to him directly, but he's strict about certain things. No takeaway, no delivery, no online presence, just dine in. She said it like someone repeating lines they'd been given, not understanding them, just following along. I didn't push, but the more I thought about it, the more it bothered me. The place was packed every night, people were obsessed, and yet no one questioned why the food couldn't be eaten anywhere else. The third visit, I came prepared. I brought a clean lunchbox, slipped into the side pocket of my bag. When no one was looking, I tucked a few spoonfuls of that same lamb and golden sauce inside. Sealed it quietly, didn't tell a soul. At home, I heated it up, or tried to. I tried to take a taste. But what came out wasn't what I remembered. The sauce had thickened into a pale, clumpy mess. The meat was gray, not pink. The smell was off, like cold grease and damp paper. The taste, bitter, lifeless, and then something worse. It was wrong, lifeless, empty, and underneath it all, a sour smell, like something dying beneath the flavor. I spat it into the sink, scrubbed my mouth. Still, something lingered on my tongue. Not taste, not exactly. It clung to my tongue like a film. Even I already spit it out, brushed my teeth twice. Still, something lingered, not flavor, a feeling. The same feeling I'd get when I was alone, thinking too long about that restaurant. Like something was watching me outside my room, gazing through layers, waiting, and I might be had broken a rule that never spoke aloud. The next day at work, I brought it up again, just a passing comment to Kevin. I straightly told him that I tried bringing a bit of the food home last night. He didn't laugh this time. Didn't even smile. He looked at me like I'd kicked a dog. Scorned at me like I'd said something unspeakable. You weren't supposed to do that, he said. Asking why I did such pitiful act, like I was doing some crime. I tried to told him that the food is so delicious that I couldn't help to bring it home. He snapped, that I broke their rules, like I can't just steal from them. As if I mocked the restaurant like some other fast food place where I could do as I please. By then, a few others from the office had turned to listen. Jenny from HR, Marcus from sales, even the intern, all watching. You shouldn't mess with a place that gives so much, someone muttered. It's a small business, another said. They're trying to do something good. You don't take from people like that. Their tone wasn't angry, it was offended. I backed off, mumbled an apology. They returned to their lunch like nothing happened. Only Ray, one of the senior engineers, lingered behind. He didn't look disgusted, just concerned. Only Ray, one of our senior engineers, didn't react with scorn. He leaned in at lunch, asking if I brought food home too. I nodded. He frowned. Tried to share something, but being held by other coworkers. By the end of work, we talked in private. Outside the office, he spoke up that something isn't right about that place. Like we're being fed something, more than food. I accused the place drugged its food. Somehow he hesitated about the drug, but he strangely believed something worse. After eat all the food that he took home, he experienced bizarre dreams. Always dine at the same restaurant, enjoying food as it should be, until he heard whispering. At first he thought it was stress. Then he started waking up at 3:33 every night. His eyes flicked left and right, as make sure nobody is watching. To be precise, nothing is watching. As we talked about ease our anxiety, we agreed to go again, just the two of us. He said he still had access to the reservation line. Booked a table, to relieve unsettling feeling that stuck in us. To make sure that it was just our misperception about the restaurant. An itch to confirm that the two of us just being paranoid. But we both knew, it wasn't just a hunch, it was something deeper, a pull. The kind you only feel when something already has its hooks in you. We went back not just to eat, but to find out what we weren't supposed to see. We didn't eat right away. The waiter took our order. Tonight's special was a cured duck over something floral and dark, and walked off with a polite nod. We made small talk, laughing too loudly at nothing, watching the other tables polish their plates in perfect silence. When the moment felt right, I stood. Restroom, I said. Ray gave it a beat, then followed a few minutes later. The hallway was narrow and dim. Just ahead was the restroom sign, but to the left, the small, swinging door marked staff only. And from there came the smell, not the savory comfort we'd known at our table. This was heavier, dense, wet. A mix of copper, soil, and something sour-sweet that made the back of my throat tighten. We moved closer. Through the narrow opening between the door and the frame, we saw the kitchen. The chefs worked in synchronized silence, like a ballet, no talking, no wasted motion. Dicing, plating, stirring, but then as something else. Behind them, in the deeper shadows, it moved. It didn't wear a uniform. It didn't belong. It was tall, nearly grazing the ceiling, with skin that looked burned and slick at once. Limbs elongated and crooked, like it had been stitched wrong. No eyes, only folds of dark skin and twitching slits where a face should have been. It hovered over the stoves. Drool, or something like it, leaked in long strands from its mouth. It hung over the simmering pans and fed them with that thick black fluid. We heard it sizzling as it touched the food. A smell rose up like iron and rain-soaked her. None of the chefs flinched. None of them looked back. They cooked as if the thing wasn't there. But we saw it. And then it saw us. It didn't jump or scream. It simply turned, slowly, as if it had known we were watching all along. Its mouth opened wider than should be possible, revealing rows of small, hooked teeth like fish bones snapped in half. It tilted its head at us, almost like it was amused. Like it had waited for this moment. Ray yanked at my arm. We stumbled back, nearly knocking over a cart. and rushed into the restroom. We stood in silence, catching our breath, afraid to speak, as if speaking might invite it in. Only after we left the building, once the cold air hit our faces and the glow of the gourmet table faded behind us, did we dare to speak. I asked in disbelief, "What was that?" Ray didn't answer at first. Then he said, softly, "I think it feeds us." Ray's words barely left his mouth when we heard it. A creak, long, deep, heavy, like a door made of bone, somewhere just out of sight. We didn't wait to find out more. We rushed back into the dining area, trying not to look like we were running from something. The warm light of the restaurant suddenly felt artificial, like a stage. Our table waited for us, the cutlery untouched, the water sweating in our glasses. We sat, we smiled, we acted like everything was normal. The waitress returned, tilting her head slightly when we only ordered one small entree each and a drink to match. She blinked, confused, asking to make sure we put all the orders or want to order more later. Ray quickly confirmed to the waitress, told her that we just feeling like tonight. Her expression shifted, not annoyed, concerned. But she said nothing more. She left with our order. We waited in silence. And when the food arrived, it was just as exquisite as before. Flaky fish glazed in something dark and sweet, resting over a bed of herbs we couldn't name. It was perfect, but we couldn't enjoy it. Because the feeling had followed us. That presence, that thick, oily sense of being watched, had seated itself at our table like a third guest. We didn't dare leave anything behind. Somehow, we knew. You weren't supposed to waste this food. Not here. Each bite was a performance. A show-off to whatever it was, that we truly ate the food for real. Ray chewed slowly, eyes flicking toward the corners of the room. I kept my hands from shaking. When we were done, spotless plates, nothing left but a lemon wedge, I gave a subtle nod. While finishing the last few bites, I had slipped a portion into my lunchbox, hiding it beneath my napkin in my lap. No one noticed. Or, they pretended not to. We paid in cash and left quickly. The cold night air hit us like a rebirth, but we didn't speak, not yet. Only once we were halfway home did we dare to breathe. "I got it," I whispered. Ray didn't ask how. He just nodded. We left a bit hurried to see what it looks like in the light. At my apartment, we opened the lunchbox under the kitchen light. What was once fragrant and mouth-watering had curdled into something unrecognizable. The fish had lost its color, not browned, not even gray, but colorless, like boiled flesh scrubbed of life. The sauce had separated into streaks, dull beige at the bottom, a thin film of cloudy oil on top, glistening like grease left to sit too long. The smell hit next, sharp, metallic, and sour. Like copper pennies soaked in vinegar, Ray stared at it in silence. Then, without a word, dipped the edge of the spoon and took a tentative taste. Just a drop. He jerked back instantly, gagging. Spat into the sink. His eyes watered as he wiped his mouth. "It's like rot," he choked, "like something that out of dumpster." I was shocked because we saw how the kitchen staff handled ingredients that looked fresh to my knowledge. He held the spoon out at arm's length, like it might burn him. Then added quietly, "The thing that we saw in the kitchen didn't cook the food. It enhances it, imbues it." "With what?" I asked. I wasn't sure I wanted an answer. We didn't talk much after that. We never went back to the gourmet table, and we didn't tell anyone else. In the weeks that followed, everyone at the office kept going, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Some coworkers began to change, not drastically, not all at once, but enough. A few stopped talking entirely, smiling vaguely when spoken to. Others grew thinner, didn't have appetite to eat other dishes except from that restaurant. And then there were the ones who seemed to glow. Their eyes too bright, their energy too high, like something inside was burning too fast, too hot. But none of them, not one, ever mentioned bringing food home. Then one Monday, Kevin showed up late, baggy eyes, hands trembling. He didn't explain. He didn't need to. By Friday, the gourmet table was gone. No grand closing. No thank you message even on any media. Just a boarded up front window and a blank sign where the name used to be. The reservation line went dead. Even the staffs who used to work there had no idea about the reason why the restaurant was out of business. Despite of that, I still remember the kitchen. I remember the creature's long frame, how it hovered over the food like it fed on the act of feeding us. I remember how it smiled. Like it knew who we were, like it had tasted us. Now, when someone tells me about a new place in town, a pop-up with unbelievable flavors, no reviews, no delivery, I just nod. I don't go. Because now I wonder, when a meal tastes too perfect, when the flavors hit like nostalgia and dream and love all at once, maybe it's not the ingredients that matter. Maybe it's about what was added to the recipe.